Segment 4, gender, or the absence thereof. Harvey Mansfield, quote. This actually, as a parent who's writing big checks to a child in college, and this is the one that brings tears to your eyes. Harvey Mansfield, quote, together the feminists and the left make up perhaps half the faculty, the other half being moderate liberals who are afraid of the feminists rather than with them, close quote. Let's unpack that to begin with. Distinguish the feminists from the left.
Well, those are almost all women, obviously, and they are on the left, but they always insist on raising the question of affirmative action or of having more women, and always having more women means having more women of their kind. It doesn't mean having more conservative women or having a diversity or a variety of points of view among women. No, so their concentration is always on the woman's question, and this isn't always so with those who are more generally on the left.
All right. Now, this question you've just touched on, this question of diversity. Diversity is the word that gets used over and over again, and you have made the point that on the government department there are roughly 50 professors, yeah, and you have said about 3 conservatives.
Yes.
So I put to you what you already know, which is that if there were 50 professors and only 3 women, Harvard University would be all over that in a moment. If there were 50 professors and only 3 persons of color, the university, yeah, would be all over that because Harvard, yeah, University cares about, right, ethnic and gender diversity. Mm-hmm. But 50 professors and only 3 conservatives, shrug.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the university, of course Harvard is the example we're using, but what we're saying is true of university after university, why shouldn't it care most about intellectual diversity?
Well, of course it should, but it doesn't. These people all of a sudden go moral and saying, oh, you mustn't force us to make appointments on the basis of politics. So we only choose whoever is best. And if it just turns out that you've got 47 liberals and 3 conservatives, well, that is funny, but it's not really objectionable. And it isn't as if you conservatives really suffer. You're being conservative, you probably have more money than the rest of us.
Well, I'll quote you again, Harvey. Quote, in my time, I think by my time you're talking about your student or early days on the faculty, women expected to be happy in life without having a career. Women are now as ambitious as men. Having a career has become their duty. How strange that the women's movement, inspired by sometime Marxists like Simone de Beauvoir and Betty Friedan, has brought about a great increase in bourgeois careerism among young women. So instead of empowering women as women, the feminist movement has instructed them to act like men. Is that correct?
That's exactly correct. That's exactly what its effect has been.
Would I get an honest A for that question?
Yes, you would.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. And it shows up in matters of sex, too. As if feminism understands equality as sexual equality, and sexual equality means that women should be as free to be as great predators as the worst of men. And so they look on a sexual license and having fun in that rather advanced way as a matter of political principle.
All right, from women to men, manliness, your 2006 controversial book. Yeah. As feminism in the academy has risen, what has happened to manliness?
Well, it's under a cloud of suspicion, to put it mildly. I don't think that manliness is ever in danger of disappearing. It's part of human nature, and that, I think, is where I mainly differ from the feminists. So it isn't that it's gone or disappeared, it's just that it's no longer employed. It no longer is regarded. That's right. It's no. That's right. Somehow that is on the side. Yeah.
Right.
And that's an exception which is strangely made.
To please the alumni, right?
To please the alumni
Right.
and a few of the more rowdy males.
I'll quote you again, Harvey. Today we live in a gender-neutral society. It's a society in which your sex matters as little as possible. It doesn't give you your rights or your duties, and certainly not your place. This is new. It hasn't been done before in human history. The gender-neutral society is really a kind of experiment. How's the experiment coming out?
Well, it's hard to know because it doesn't regard itself as an experiment. It regards itself as a perfectly natural development out of democracy, that democracy has a tendency to become more and more democratic, as Tocqueville remarked, and this is just another instance among many that could be cited to make that point. And so they don't think of this as doing something strange, although they are certainly conscious that no other society that they can name has ever been gender neutral before, and there are only one or two possible feminist utopias in which such societies have been conceived.